We are here with F2P, Magic the Gathering player, trying to rate some Yu-Gi-Oh cards for the first time. You have very limited Yu-Gi-Oh experience, and I must say this is our second ever Patreon episode. You made it to the show. If you haven't seen the Patreon page yet, it's TheOneJame on Patreon, and you too could be a part of the show if you are in that tier as well. But first, tell me how much Yu-Gi-Oh experience you have before we get started.
So, almost none whatsoever. I've watched all your videos, so I have a probably step up in that way. But I played a GBA game called The Sacred Cards. So every card had like one line of text and no special summoning, so you could just cast cards that for 1 star. Like there was Thousand Eyed Restrict, which would at one level 1 you could just play it and steal the opposing monster and level up by 1,000. So truly, it was Yu-Gi-Oh as Garfield intended.
Let's go ahead and get started with Banned or Broken. I'm going to give you 5 different cards, and you're going to tell me which one has crossed the line to getting banned, or is it just a really good card in Yu-Gi-Oh? Are you ready for the first card?
Yeah, let's see it.
All right.
I'm ready to read.
I'm ready to read. Before we get started, I want to talk to you about the sponsor of this video, Into the AM. These shirts are absolutely awesome. I wear them all the time, whether I'm going out or I'm just staying in. They have really, really cool designs. Some of them are crazy, out of this world. And speaking of out of this world, there's a lot of different ones with space theme, even Japanese inspired themes. Even I'm wearing one right now. It has this nice ship theme on it, which is really cool. And also I have a dark green one that I wear all the time. I'll show you how it looks right here. Really sleek, super, super comfortable. You can get 10% off of the graphic tees and the basic tees by using my link in the description. There's Astro Pump with the cool astronaut there, Flora Invaders. They have even Fallen King there with the crown and the skull there. It's really cool. Abyss 2 Meta Beach and Lunar Harvest. All Into the AM. Remember, get 10% off with my link in the description. Thank you to Into the AM for sponsoring this video. Now let's get to the card analysis.
All right, we got a Pointer of the Red Lotus. I said this is a trap card. Pay 2,000 life points and reveal your entire hand. Look at your opponent's hand and banish 1 card from their hand until your opponent's next end step. So it doesn't say quick play on here. Well, no, it's a trap. And so you can just activate this. So you typically with a trap, I think you activate it in response to something. You can just do this at the beginning of their turn.
Right.
And only on their turn. Or you can just...
You can use this on your opponent's turn or on your turn, but you have to set it first and wait a turn.
Okay, yeah.
It's put it in Magic terms, it's kind of like foretell.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. So yeah, I am going to say that 2,000 life points and revealing your entire hand is not that big of a deal. And from seeing previous videos, Yu-Gi-Oh really does not like Thoughtseize effects. Or at least I would say Yu-Gi-Oh Thoughtseize effects are very strong. Being able to take a card out of your opponent's hand is very strong. And with Yu-Gi-Oh being as fast as it is, and being all your combos kind of being on 1 turn, the fact that it stays there until the next end phase is not a big deal. I think obviously this card is very good and probably pushed the line to being banned at one point. If not, then it's the best effect of this type in the format.
Okay, so you're saying if this card's not banned, it's like everyone's playing it because it's the best type of like Thoughtseize effect in the game.
That's my final answer.
Okay, you are correct that it's banned.
Oh man,
good job.
I am real.
and honestly,
I've seen this effect on the show, so I was like, okay, this is pretty good.
Yeah, it was a different effect of this card though. I remember I showed the Forceful Sentry, and that card was banned. And you kind of use that knowledge to gain knowledge of a Pointer of the Red Lotus, which is fine. But a Pointer is like, you have to take so much life points, and you have to reveal your hand. If you don't have any cards in your hand, you can't even activate this, so you like have to have a card in your hand.
Oh.
Yeah. So in that way, it's different than Magic. In Magic, we'd just be able to activate this with no cards in your hand, it'd be fine. But in Yu-Gi-Oh, you actually have to have a card in your hand to activate this. But it was still ended up being played very heavily in sideboards or even in the main deck of some decks. So it eventually ended up getting banned. So congratulations, good job on the first one.
Is this like still big?
This is still banned. Yep. And these cards in the show today are going to be cards that are either not banned right now or currently banned right now.
Gotcha.
All right, moving on to the next card. Let's go ahead and give you a spell card.
What am I looking at? Well, it's a Vast Driver spell card, and that's a continuous effect. And it's a tribute one monster on your side of the field to inflict 400 points of damage to your opponent's life points. So the first thing that stands out to me is, this does not say only activate this once per turn. So I guess the question is, I know with tribute rules, can you just activate this as many times as you can, or you want to?
You can activate this as many times as you want to.
I will say that having 20 monsters seems like a lot in order to, one turn kill your opponent.
Just for clarity, I think you might know this already, but you can only have 5 monsters in play at once. Like technically 6 because there's an extra monster zone, but it's not like a billion monsters or creatures like you can in Magic.
But you could still generate more monsters though, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can have monsters and then sacrifice them and then bring more monsters out and stuff like that if you want to.
Yeah. I see this is the win condition of whatever you're trying to play. It just I know you can really spew monsters onto the board, up to 5, but 20 seems like a lot. And like I said, I definitely see the use case. I don't think this can go all the way. Well, so it's good. It's probably a combo piece in deck right now, but I don't see it being, like I said, with the restriction on, being able to summon monsters, you'd have to do it kind of one at a time for a while. I don't think this is banned.
This card is currently banned.
It is currently banned.
Yes.
So it's just keep on going.
There was a deck called Frog FTK back in the day. FTK standing for first turn kill, and you could put so many frogs on the battlefield and keep spamming them on the battlefield and sacrificing them. And the point is, when you sacrifice them, it actually you actually wanted them in the graveyard. So like you could bring them out, you want them in the graveyard anyway, and it can keep swimming back. Yeah, exactly. So there was kind of like a Frog FTK combo to where if you had Mass Driver / Substitute, which Substitute's also banned, but you could win the game on the first turn. It was like one of the original. I don't want to say the original, but it was one of the original like oppressive first turn kill decks in you.
Gotcha, that makes sense. I probably should have asked if you could recur, something you could curve from the graveyard with this, like Oval Chase Daredevil and the cookbook.
Right. To where it just keeps coming back, and you sacrifice it, and it says like when it's sacrificed, you bring it back. Yeah, something similar. Yeah. So
I should have. I mean, that makes sense.
Yep. So Mass Driver is banned. Unfortunately, you can't be in the 5 for 5 club, but maybe for the next video.
I'm okay. I will be all right.
It's okay. It'll be all right. Moving on to the next card. Is this card banned or broken?
All right. We have the Red Reboot. This is a trap card with some really actionable, I kind of wish that. Why isn't that button red? Like you just push the button.
The button's actually green, I think.
That button needs to be red. I am disappointed in this artist. All right, when your opponent activates a trap card, negate the activation. If you do, set that card face down, and they can set one other trap directly from their deck. For the rest of the turn, after that card resolves, your opponent cannot activate trap cards. You can activate this card from your hand by paying half your life points. So, I mean, that last line of text seems particularly relevant. That is because, no. But you could do this turn, if you went second and they played, I guess the trap card like the first one we saw, the Pointer of the Red Lotus, you could activate this and so it's a way to kind of break parity on first turn thing. The fact that they get any trap card from their deck seems like quite a downside. Although you do get their trap card on your side. Does it matter that it's face down?
They don't get their trap card on your side. They get their trap card on their own side.
Yeah, you get their side. You get their trap card.
For red reboot, you counter their trap card, but they get to search for their own trap card and put it on their board.
They get but you get their card. No, okay, so you do not get their card. Okay, so it said
right.
So like you said, it says negate your, and if you do, set that card face down. But so they still keep their first trap card, but they can't activate it.
Right.
Okay. Oh, so man, I was like, man, you get their card? That's
yeah, that would be nuts.
But all right, I don't think this is oppressive enough to get banned. Obviously, I think that so it stops them from activating trap cards, but there's a ton of effects that clear trap cards. So if they're already activating the one, it still gets negated, but. So now you don't use the stack. You use that chain system.
Right.
Where it's not everything all at once. I mean, so they could still activate other trap cards while this is, while the chain, and keep going with the chain if they can.
Well, they can only do that if they have a counter trap card. You see that arrow next to the trap card symbol there?
Yes.
That means that you can only respond to it. This is kind of like split second. You can only
so it's like
but you can only respond to this by other cards that say split second.
Okay, so it's a little better than what I was thinking in that regard. I'm going to say not banned. It just shuts off trap cards, and I think there are enough other effects, especially particularly between quick play spells and effects of monsters where this is not. I don't think it goes over the line. It's obviously very good, but I don't think it goes over the line.
This card goes over the line. This card is banned.
It goes over the line.
Yep. This card is a very oppressive card. In order for you to be able to play control decks or stop your opponent from playing the game with trap cards, which is what you want to do, this card completely turns off their whole deck. And there's a lot of decks that that play a combo style and want to kill you on one turn if they're going second. So you just sideboard into like 3 of these, and if you draw one, you just win the game on the spot. Unless your opponent has like a Solemn Judgment card that is also a counter trap that can stop this card. But then because they played Solemn Judgment, they have to take half their life points already, so they're down to 4,000. And because of that, you can usually just kill your opponent anyway because they have half of their life points.
That there would be whole decks that are just trap cards.
Exactly.
Or mostly trap cards.
Yeah.
I always saw them as just kind of like just like be like saying a whole deck full of sorceries.
Right.
I didn't think it would be that. But yeah, that if that is your entire strategy, then that makes sense that this would be much stronger than I was thinking.
Right. Yeah, unlike Magic, where like you kind of most of the time have to play some number of creatures to just like actually win the game, unless you're playing Storm or something like that. Yu-Gi-Oh isn't quite like that, where you can just win the game with just playing trap cards. Like there's a deck called a Paleozoic in Yu-Gi-Oh, where they have basically just trap cards, but their trap cards turn into monsters, turn into creatures. When you activate a trap card, they can come back out of the graveyard as a monster, and then you can use those to kill your opponent. So it is a deck full of trap cards, but they turn into monsters, and that's how you kill your opponent, which is kind of interesting, unique way to play the game. But this card would completely destroy a deck like that. And so it became too oppressive, and it is banned because of it.
Well, like I said, they should have gone with the red button.
Yeah, they should have gone with the red button. Then you might have thought that it was banned.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, going on to the next card. Let's see how you feel about this one.
This is Flash Draw. Again, this is some very active artwork you have here. And I gotta zoom in for this. Discard 1 card, send cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard equal to the number of cards your component controls, like on the battlefield.
Yes.
Then draw 1 card and show it. Then, if it was Flash Draw, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, destroy as many cards on the field as possible. Then inflict 2,000 damage to your opponent for each card destroyed, and sent to the graveyard by this effect. if the card you drew was not slash draw, shuffle cards from your graveyard into your deck equal to the number of cards sent from your deck to the graveyard by this effect. You can only activate one slash draw per turn. So you get to choose which cards. So you mill over cards, but then you get to choose which ones get shuffled back in.
Yes.
Like if you have 10 cards in your graveyard and you mill 10, you get to pick which 10 go back, not just the ones that were milled.
Equal to the number of cards sent from your deck this way, right? So if you have 20 cards in your graveyard, and your opponent has 5 cards in play, you mill 5 with slash draw, you reveal the top card, and if it's slash draw, you do the thing. And if it's not, you put 5 cards from your graveyard back to your deck.
And you get to pick which 5.
You get to pick, yeah.
So, I mean, obviously that's all real good. The milling part of this card is quite strong. That might be the most strong part of it. Like, I could definitely see a scenario where I probably think, is there a way where you can kind of manipulate it so that you hit slash draw off of slash draw?
Not really, because you have to mill cards before you reveal. And you don't really know how many cards your opponent's going to have when you activate it. So, like, you can manipulate the top card of your deck somehow, but then you might just mill the slash draw over if your opponent has one more card in play, you know?
Yeah, but like, there's no effect that like you put a card like 3 cards down. And,
yeah, no, not really.
If they have, okay, yeah. So I think that this card is obviously I think that I think that it would be, you are actively hoping you don't hit slash draw with this. You are hoping to mill cards, and the cards that you mill, you are going to win the game with those cards.
I do want to tell you real quick about how the chain works in Yu-Gi-Oh! And how it interacts with this card and how spells and how abilities resolve. In Magic, if you mill if you mill 5 cards and you mill a graveyard trigger, like a Narcomoeba, the Narcomoeba will trigger even though it's in the middle of slash draw.
Sure.
But in Yu-Gi-Oh, if you milled a graveyard trigger and you put the card in the graveyard back to your deck before it could trigger, it does not happen.
Yeah, but you get to pick which cards go back.
Right. So if you pick the card that's not the card that would trigger in the graveyard, then you would get the trigger in the graveyard in a new chain after the slash draw has resolved.
I think that makes sense. Although, just question how many cards you already have. There's plenty of other cards that you probably can get some self-mill going before you play this. This is not the only self-mill enabler out there.
Right.
But yeah, and you also have to discard a card in order to start this effect.
This one's brutal. I was really very mean to you by giving you this card.
Yeah, I think the good news is I understand what it does, and I think it is good. I hope I'm right in the analysis that hitting the slash draw would actually be a whammy. I kind of feel like that the effect is good but not great. Certainly I would say this is very good in that deck. I'm going to say banned.
Final answer?
Let's go for it.
This card is not banned.
It is not banned.
It's not banned. However, they pseudo banned this card because they made it so that you can't hit slash draw. They limited it to 1.
Okay, so I see. I thought that would be like I thought that might be a
just the kicker, of the card. You didn't really want it for that effect. The thing is, it's 2,000 per hit, right? So if your opponent has 4 cards in play and you hit slash draw, you win the game.
Oh, I did not realize that. Yeah, so that was stronger than I was.
So
I just thought.
So you do want to hit. You want to mill the cards and put the cards back and everything. But if you just hit the slash draw, it's like, oops, I win the game, kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, I see that now.
But so they limit it to 1, so you can't hit slash draw. It's literally impossible. So you have to use it for the other ability, which means nobody plays this card anymore. But
okay.
Because number one, it's not really searchable. Like, it's searchable by some cards, but it's not really searchable by anything relevant, and you can't hit slash draw. So no one plays this card anymore, and it is limited to 1 and not banned.
But that's also a thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know how many cards search up target slash draw in your deck.
Yeah, I mean, there's a card called Left Arm Offering that lets you like exile 2 cards from your hand and then search for a normal spell. which would technically let you search for slash draw, but then you have to, it says like exile, I think this is exile your whole hand minimum 2, something like that. So you can't even discard a card off slash draw if you searched for it. So there's like not a lot of cards that search for normal spell cards.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there's
like
also a card.
In my mind, it seems like every Yu-Gi-Oh card feels like it's, go look for this exact card.
yeah. There's no card that says look for target slash draw on your deck. That would be funny.
All right.
There's also a card I believe called I think it's the card I'm speaking of is right. Nirvana High Paladin, that was in a different video with Nikachu when we did the MTG player rates the top 5 Yu-Gi-Oh longest worded cards, and Nirvana High Paladin was on there. And that lets you search for a normal spell card when it dies or something like that, and that would let you search for slash draw. But that's like the 2 I can think of off the top of my head that do that. Not many cards search for normal spell cards, so not too searchable. Right. So anyway,
that's reasonable.
Let's go ahead and go to the last card, and let's see. You got a Point of the Red Lotus right, Mass Driver, Red Reboot, and slash draw wrong, I believe. Okay, let's try to go. Let's try to go for the 2 and 3. Okay, we have sound off in the comments below whether you're a believer that we can go 2-3, or if we're going to go 1-4 here. Here's a last card that is similar to a lot of cards in Magic, so you might feel a little certain type of way about this one. What do you think about this one?
Card destruction. Each player discards their entire hand and draws the same number of cards they discarded. Yeah, that in particular, like obviously this is part of the, not this. I was going to say it's part of the Power 9, but that's 7 cards in particular. This is a Windfall.
Yep.
From Magic. So this is banned. Just because card drawing is so much, you don't have to pay for it. So you don't have to pay the mana cost for it. You can just do it, and it's card draw is much more premium in Yu-Gi-Oh than it is in Magic, I believe. So
it is premium, yeah.
And you discard the cards, so they go to your graveyard, so you can use them there. Sounds great.
And final answer is?
Oh yeah, this is banned.
You would be right if this was a few years ago, but this is not banned.
Oh. So yeah, they just let you just keep on drawing cards.
Yeah, they just let you do this. This card is at 1 on the ban list. It is limited to 1, so you can only play 1. And there's decks, especially there's Dark Worlds and Dangers that like to play card destruction. But if you think about it, it is a quote unquote -1. You have to use a card for both players to gain parity, so you actually lose a card in that situation, and you can also be helping your opponent by discarding the cards in their hand because there's a lot of graveyard interactions. You're right that it is really good. Card draw is really good, and fueling your own deck of cards in your graveyard is really good. And it is really good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad.
It is really good.
But this card is not banned. It is just it's just on the cusp of being banned, but it's not.
Well, that's how it is in Magic too. I've seen it played in Vintage, where I believe it's restricted in Vintage, but I think I can't. But you never see that effect at that level. You see the other, big draw.
Yeah, you see Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, but not the. Yeah, okay, that makes sense to me. I always guess I was discounting how it just seems like just anything that said draw cards seems like it would be on, especially on the watch list. And it also makes sense that the power creep has caught up to it.
Oh yeah. So there is a card that's kind of like card destruction, but not Graceful Charity, which is a card that's been banned forever, and it says draw 3 cards to discard 2. So
yeah,
that's like a free very broken version of Bazaar of Baghdad. So that card's been banned forever. I think it got banned right after Goat format, or maybe a format after. But Graceful Charity was legal for Goat format and was banned after. But yeah, very very broken card. Card destruction is very good. Card draw is very good, but card destruction is limited to 1. So we did a 1 for 4 today. That's okay. You still did really good. Your analysis was really good. Maybe we'll have you back on a future show. Thank you very much for coming on the show, being our 2nd ever Patreon patron. And also, if you do want to get a shirt from Into the AM, which very nice, colorful shirt here with the ships on it. I love this shirt. You can go find out more information about that in the description below. Anyway, thank you once again, F2P, for coming on the show, and we will see you again next time.
Thanks for having me.